It's your boy YouTube name TikTok Israel. And I'm back at you again with another video teaching the word of the Lord. It's been a while since my last video. And I definitely received some colorful comments from my previous work. And, you know, at the end of the day, it only makes me stronger, you know. Do I still stand by what I previously did in the past? Absolutely, because it's clear as day if you just put on your goggles. But my spirit has definitely altered in emotions and how I deal with other people. So, you know, for the most part, yeah, but we grow every day. So if you're not familiar and didn't really see my last videos, go ahead and check them out, you know. Because basically what I like to do is I like to do videos that I think Israel really needs to see out there, and that I think that they might not be getting from their elders. So if I feel like the Most High put a spirit on me and said, hey, you know, the masses, they not really familiar with these teachings, you know, so I try to do the best I can with what I know. So what I want to bring out to the people today is this breakdown of Revelations, the 12th chapter. So I guess the title will be called Breaking Down Revelations 12. And I say that because a lot of elders out here with these camps, once again, y'all got it wrong. Like, I be hearing brothers read it in the word, like even when they go over a certain verse in the chapter, I can see it in them, and they just look around like, yeah, I don't truly understand that one. And they just keep reading. It's not funny at the end of the day, because this chapter is so important. That's why I'm making this video. So my brethren, my sisters out there, you know, I just want to present it to you, whether you believe it or you don't. I just want you to say, you know what, I heard that one before, you know. So that's what I'm here for. All right, let's begin. Revelations chapter 12, verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Now we know who this woman is. The woman is the nation of Israel, symbolic. Verse 2. And she being with child cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. Alright, let's point the finger at these 7 heads and 10 horns. Let's go to the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 1. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matter. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the 4 winds of heaven strove upon the great sea. And 4 great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. And the first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings, and I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. And behold, another, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus to it, Arise, devour much flesh. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. Daniel 7, verse 7. And this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a 4th beast, Now, all right, a fourth beast is here, so therefore we must have had just read 3. The first one was Babylon, and he saw it, and it resembled something like a lion. And the second beast was like a bear, which was the Medos and the Medes and the Purge. That's who that was. And the third one was like a leopard, which was the Greeks that had 4 wings of a fowl and 4 heads. Now we on this fourth beast right here, which is who? The Roman Empire. All right, the Roman Empire is the fourth beast. And let's read about this Roman Empire, who people think just faded away. But we're going to read about it. Verse 7, and after this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth, and it devoured and brake into pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. Now, these 10 horns, who are these 10 horns? Because it's very important. Because we think we know who they are, but do we truly know? Well, let's just keep reading and see if the book gonna tell us who the 10 horns is. You know. Verse 8: I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the root. Okay. Now, let's read that again. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them a little horn. Now, first of all, who is this little horn here? All right, because you like to say this fourth beast is Rome, but who is the little horn? Oh, America, really? That's foolishness. All right, it's foolishness. This little horn is the seat of Papis, or Vicarius Filii, or the city of 7 hills, or mystery Babylon and Great, who will destroy you physically, mentally, spiritually. That's who this little horn is. Vatican City, that gave you Christianity, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Because guess what? If you're a Christian, you're a Baptist, you're a 7-day Adventist. Don't matter which denomination. At the end of the day, you are a daughter of Babylon because you following her religion and you go to church on Sunday. But we're gonna get into it though. We're gonna get into it. Before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots, and behold, in this horn were the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. See, y'all don't understand this right here. Y'all gonna understand today, though. It says 3 of the nations of 10 were plucked up, which was no more, which leaves 7. Okay, so we're gonna get into that, and then you gotta understand the eyes of a man. When the book says eyes of a man, it is talking literally. Eyes of a man speaking great things, which is blasphemy. Saying you can worship on Sunday. Saying you can eat what you want. Saying a new day starts at 12:01 midnight. Saying Christ was born on December 25th. All comes from the Catholic Church. Peoples. And I'm working on a lesson now called Breaking Down Revelation 17. And when I'm done with it, like, there's no disputing that the Vatican is the whore of Babylon, mother of harlots and abomination of the earth. Now, let's get into it. The little horn is Babylon, and the eyes of a man is literally talking about a pope, and he's speaking blasphemy, which is the great things. Okay? Now, keep in mind, everything that I say, don't take my word from it. Like, go look it up for yourself. A lot of people won't say, don't take my word from it when you sit in a congregation. Or they will tell you, take my word for it when you sit in a congregation. So what I'm saying to you, like, my whole angle here is just to make videos to bring out the truth and dispute what's widely known as correct doctrine. So we're going to get into it right now. And actually, when I was doing some research to put this lesson together, I came across some quotes from a book that my neighbor gave me to read because he thought he was gonna blow my mind, talking about, oh, the Sabbath is Saturday, this, that, and the third. The Pope is the Antichrist according to the Bible. He thought he was gonna blow my mind because he said he gave it to my one neighbor who's a Catholic, two Puerto Rican dudes, and he got scared and he returned the book. But I told him, like, man, you ain't telling me nothing new, man. Like, so anyway, doing research for this whole lesson, I came across some quotes from the book that he gave me, and it was kind of funny because I didn't even really take note of that. But I'm about to read it. I'm about to read a quote from a book called Sunday Law, and it says that, first of all, let me read verse 8 again. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, which is Vatican City, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. So we're gonna get into these 3 horns right now, and behold, and their horn, and behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. Sunday Law. And here's a quote from chapter 6. We have noted that the Ostrogoths, Vandals, and Herolines have vanished from Europe, leaving no trace in the 21st century. See chapter entitled The Little Horn Among the 10 Horns. Continue reading. But when did this loss of entity take place? Amazingly, all 3 vanished shortly after the time in which they had reached the zenith of their power. Their decline in each case was dramatic, unexpected, and sudden. This prophecy thus is a most compelling one. Now listen, do your own research on this one, alright? But straight up and down, these are the 3 nations that vanished from history of Europe that you will not hear nothing from. You know why? Because God revealed it to Daniel and said that this will come to pass. So I'm gonna spell these nations out for you, and you go look them up on your own. I'm just giving you the information that these are the 3 horns that were plucked up from the 10, so therefore it leaves 7. But prophecy said that it will be 10 again. You know why these 3 nations was plucked up? Because they didn't go along with papacies. Papacies, I believe I'm saying it right. Papacies is the office of the Pope. And they said, no, we're not going to bow down and submit to your authority and the doctrine that you're bringing out. So guess what happened? The Pope said, okay, you gone. You vanished from history, because that's one thing you do not do. You do not go against the Catholic Church. So these was plucked up from history. Now these nations are the Ostrogoths. You spell that Ostrogoths, and the second is the Vandals, Vandals, and the I don't know, Heruli. Check it out. All right, let's jump to Daniel's chapter 8. Daniel's chapter 8, and we're going to read 5 through 8. And as I was considering, behold, a he-goat came from the west, and on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground, and the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. Now, this he-goat we all know to be the Greeks, with Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great was that notable horn between the eyes, okay? And he touched not the ground, because we read that he would have four wings, and he would move so swift, you know, that like nothing can really stand before him. So that was going on with him and his kingdom. Verse 6, and he came to the realm that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and brake his 2 horns, and there was no power in the ram to stand before him. But he cast him down to the ground, and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. So all that's saying is that the Greeks, they kicked the Medes' ass, basically. And they kicked them down to the ground that they couldn't even get back up, completely destroyed. Verse 7, and I saw him come close into the realm, and he was moved with, I'm sorry. Verse 8, therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken. So when Alexander was at the peak of his career, when he was strong, guess what? He died. That notable horn, that great horn, died. And for it came up 4 notable ones towards the 4 winds of heaven. So we all know that the Greek Empire was split into 4 different ways with its 4 top generals. Now, what we just read right there was simple. Now let's flip the page back just one, and let's read Daniel chapter 7, verse 6. And keep in mind, this is all breaking down Revelations 12, but you must understand the 7 heads and the 10 horns. So that's what we're doing here, people. Let's not get off track. Daniel chapter 7, verse 6. Let's see what's going on. And after this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. And the beast also had 4 heads. And the beast also had 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. Now, this terminology that is used is very spiritual. So you gotta cast out whatever you thought you knew before, and just hear me out. You know what I'm saying? Because in the last days, you don't want to be like, damn, brother was speaking knowledge. I should have listened. Now I'm getting my ass kicked in this great tribulation. No, just listen. All right, just listen. 4 heads, Greek Empire split in 4, but the Bible calls it, Yahweh calls it, the Lord calls it 4 heads. So guess what you got to do? Whenever you see 7 heads and 10 horns, 4 of those heads, you got to count for the Greeks. So let's do it. Babylon, 1 head. Medo-Persians, 1 head. The Greeks, 4 heads. The Romans, 1 head. How many heads is that? 7. 7, 7, 7. Now, we already talked about the 10 nations that was the Roman Empire, but 3 of them was destroyed by the Pope. Do your research, people. Prove me wrong, because I did mine. Now it's 7. But keep in mind, all this means is that the beast is wounded in the head. If you know history, you would know Rome rise and fell 9 times. And guess what? In the Great Tribulation, it will rise once more. And that great wound in his head will be healed. Because guess what? Guess who came up with the European Union? And guess who wrote the paperwork? Vatican City. Y'all don't know that. Y'all don't know that. So, 3 of the nations was plucked up. We went over that. And, which makes 7. But prophecy said it must be 10. So guess what? That EU, they will put all their armies together and give it to Vatican City, who the Pope will rule over all. 7 heads and 10 horns, people. 7 heads and 10 horns. Let's go back to Revelations chapter 12, shall we? Because ain't that what we doing today? Let's get to it. Revelations 12 and 4. Oh, it's another one. 12 and 4. And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. I got a cold. Sorry about that. So cold outside, man. My God. But check this out right here. What I hear people associating with this verse right here is pure blasphemy. You Israelites. But let's get to it. The tail drew the third part of the stars. Now, who is this talking about? It's talking about the devil himself drew the third part of the stars, which means that when he was kicked out of heaven, what happened? He took some of the angels with him, and they was cast down unto the earth. That's all that it's talking about. Point blank, period. Because if you want to do the math, which you cannot number an angel, and the angel numbers in heaven is unnumberable. You know? So when it says the third part, it just says, it's a spiritual meaning that a group of some, a group, a following. Verse 4, and his tail drew the third part of the stars in heaven, and did cast them to the earth. So the dragon and the tail, only thing the tail means is that it's going by his mouth and how he convinced people and the angels, that is, to follow him. And his tail drew. When you draw something, what do? You bring it towards you. You make it closer. Where you go, it goes. His tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, which is the angels, and cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered to devour her child as soon as it was born. You know what? Let's read about that. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? So all that's saying is that the devil was cast to the earth, and in all his wrath with his wicked angels that follow him, they tempted man and corrupted their mind. So he was kicked out of heaven. We're gonna touch on that some more. Revelations 12, verse 5. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with the rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. Verse 6. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. Now this is a big one right here, people. This is a big one. First of all, I'm going to read it again. I'm going to ask you a question. And the woman fled into the wilderness. Remember that word right there, wilderness. Where she had a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. Now, we got to establish that the woman is Israel, the nation as a whole, and she fled into the wilderness. Now, keep in mind, this chapter right here, 12, it jumps back and forth between times and times, and you just can't read it like it's a book. It definitely is a puzzle. So that's where people get confused at, because they read this whole chapter straight. Now, she going into the wilderness, where a place is prepared for her, so everything will be cool when she get there, and she will be there for 1,260 days. 3 scores 26, so that's 12,060 days. Ask yourself, what does that mean? What does that mean? Israel will be in the wilderness for how long? 3.5 years, clear as day. When did that happen? When will it happen? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break this one down for you. 3.5 years, 1,260 days, 3.5 years. Let's see who else spoke about this. Let's go to the book of Daniel. The book of Daniel, the 7th chapter. Because Christ said, if you want to understand anything, go read Daniel's. Now let's pick it up from chapter 7, verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and he shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and dividing the times. Now, you know what? Let me just read the 27. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it until the end. Now that's a big word right there. Until the end. Alright, verse 27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is a everlasting kingdom, and all his dominion shall serve and obey him. So eventually we gonna take his kingdom away, but it's gonna be at the end. But the whole time that he gonna have full control over this earth, going full throttle, and he will think to change times and laws, which he already did. But when he gonna have his full rulership for that 1 hour, the end of 25, it says times and times and dividing of times. What is that? It's 3.5 years, people. Verse 25, one more time. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and he shall wear out the saints of the Most High. Now people will let us say he is another word symbolic for a kingdom. No, not at all. Because we can read also in Daniel's where the Most High is telling him that he had eyes of a man. So keep in mind, we're dealing with one individual here, you know, who's sitting up top. So, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand. So the saints of the Most High will be given into this man's hands, and he gonna have full reign to do whatever he wants to the saints for a times and dividing the time. I'm telling you right now that that's 3.5 years. Dividing the times mean 1.5 years, so 3.5. Alright, we're gonna jump over to Revelations real quick, but we definitely coming back to Daniel's though, so if you're there, stay there. But let's jump over to Revelations chapter 11. Revelation chapter 11, we're going to pick it up from verse 2. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread underfoot 42 months. 42 months, people. This is the great tribulation period right here, and the Gentiles will have complete rulership over the land of Israel. Now, if you want to get further into this, which is a whole nother lesson, the man, if you watch my previous video, the man is the Pope. And arms will stand on his part, and the EU will make him ruler over the 10 nations, which is the 10 horns. So just watch my other videos if you want to know about it. But the Pope, he's going to have rulership over the land of Israel. He gonna say, I'm here. So anyway, 42 months, people. What that sound like? It sounds like a times, and divided at times. It sounds like 1,260 days. That's what it sounds like. Verse 3. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,203 days, clothed in sackcloth. So 1,260 days. What is that? What is that? It's 3.5 years, people, that we will be given into the hand of the beast for 1 hour, and he will have his way and do whatever. So 3.5 years. 3.5 years. That's not all. That's not all. Let's jump over to the 13th chapter and see how many times Christ is trying to warn us what's going on so we won't get caught up in this 3.5 years. Let's read it. Revelations 13, verse 5. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemy, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. This beast that's going to come upon in the last days, he going to be speaking pure blasphemy. And he gonna have his way and do whatever he want to do for 42 months. That's why you can also read that they said if it was possible that he can deceive the very elect. He gonna be doing some things. He gonna be killing some people, a lot of people. And you can read in Matthew's the 24th chapter, Christ was warning us, read Daniel the prophet, because he described this man in great detail, which is the little horn, which is the Vatican city, which the abominations and the whore's doctrine come from. So my point where I was going with this, oh yeah, Matthew's the 24th chapter, Christ said, once this man sets foot in the Holy Land and stop the daily sacrifice, because they will build up that temple, those fake Jews, and start sacrificing again. Christ said that there's going to be the Great Tribulation, the beginning of the Great Tribulation, once the abomination and desolation sets its foot in the Holy Land. Now, we just read that the Gentiles in Revelations, the 11th chapter, will have rulership over the court of the Gentiles. And we also read, well, we didn't read, but if you read Matthew's the 24th chapter, when you shall see the abomination, therefore, spoken by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, fleeing to the mountains. Once again, Matthew's the 24th chapter is talking about end time prophecies, not 70 AD. That's Luke 21. All right, so I don't get the two confused because they're very, very important. All right, we should have got established by now that 3.5 years Great Tribulation. That Christian doctrine, 7.5 years. I don't know where in the world they get that from. But let me see. Let's go back to the book of Daniels, man, because the book of Daniels, my God, the Most High, he revealed some things to Daniel. And, I'm just here to do what I can, so what I know. So let's go to Daniel's, the 12th chapter. Daniel's chapter 12. And we're going to pick it up from verse 6. Hold on, let me see if I even want to start from here. Yeah, we could do 6. Now, Daniel's 12 and 6 says, and one said to the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, how long shall it be to the end of these wonders? Because we at the end of the book of Daniel's right here. So everything Daniel heard and received, he's asking these angels, okay, how long till this happens? What's going on? Give me some details. And 7 says, and I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and swear by him that liveth forever, that it shall be for a times, and half a times. What that sound like, people? It sounds like 42 months. It sounds like 1,203 scoring days. It sounds like a times, and half a times. 3.5 years, people. So Daniel, he just heard about the details of the Great Tribulation and what was going on. So he like, so when it's going to happen? He said it's going to take place. First of all, he said it's going to be at the end of times. And then the time period is times, and half a times, 3.5 years. middle of 7. And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished. So basically, when these saints get their butt whooped, you know. Verse 8, and I heard, but I understood not. Then said I, O my Lord, what shall be the end of these things? So he told Daniel times and a half of times. A lot of people might not understand that. So Daniel said, "Oh my Lord, please give me some details, make it clear, you know." Verse 9. And he said, Go thy way, Daniel, for thy words are closed up and sealed to the end of time. End of the time. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. We all know about that one. I like it again. I'm going to read it again. Verse 10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. Come on, y'all. I love y'all out there. If I truly believe that I got the truth, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach it because I consider myself wise. So let's just all take a second and just listen, because we so caught up in our doctrines and our camps. When somebody come about and say, hey, man, I think things and the word is to be understood this way, we don't want to hear it, you know. So I should have said that at the beginning of the video. We all think we wise, but we don't consider it, you know. So let's consider these things. Verse 11. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Now check this out right here. Listen and listen close. We read about Christ saying in Matthew the 24th chapter, we ain't even got to read it. We should, because, like, well, I know it, but a lot of people got this wrong anyway. So Matthew the 24th chapter, Christ said, when the abomination of desolation stand in the holy mountains, flee, run, get out of there. All right. And a lot of people, they don't know who this man is. So how can you run from a man when you don't know who he is? And so he's going to stand in the holy place, and he's going to make the daily sacrifice cease. Because I told you, it's prophecies in this Bible that says they will build up that third temple. It's prophecies in this Bible that says the abomination and desolation will sit in God's temple, claiming himself to be God. There's prophecies in this Bible that says that the fake Jewish people will start sacrificing animals back again. So when this abomination, the Pope, sets foot in the Holy Land, once the temple don't even got to be up. You know, they just got to start the sacrifice back up. And he going to tell them no need to sacrifice anymore, because I'm Christ, I'm here. So he's going to make it cease. Now here's something else you got to pay attention to, because Christ told you when the Romans came, when we was in the land, the real Jews was in the land, run. All right, Christ also told us don't go back. And he also said, wherever you at around the world, when this man sets foot in the Holy Land, then will be the start of the great tribulation. Run, run, run. But here's the thing right here. Here's to make it plain. Okay, he sets foot in the Holy Land. He might have his army, but you might be in America. So what you gotta be scared and run for right away? You know, all he did was set foot over there. What's going on? When the Most High sent on plagues in Egypt, did he not tell us you must do this for these plagues won't come upon you? He said you better put that blood on your door, and these plagues will oversee you and not touch you. So whenever he sent destruction on this earth, he give us a method of faith to act by, to show that we understand and we will be obedient to his word. So that's what I want to tell y'all. But let's continue. You know what? Let me read this again, because some of y'all might be like, hold on, them two different numbers right here. Verse 11. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. Now, we've been reading all day 1,260 days. But the Most High said 1,260 days will be the time period of the great tribulation. But right here, it says, from the moment and from that time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that make it desolate set up. So once he take away the daily sacrifice and set up the abomination that make it desolate, you got 30 days to flee to the wilderness. You hear me? 1,290 days. But the Great Tribulation didn't begin yet. It's going to begin 30 days later, which will start the 1,260 days. So you got 30 days. I'm telling you, this is what I know to be true. I see nothing else that would tell me otherwise. I'm 21 years old, and I will die for this word that I am teaching. Y'all hear me? When you see the Pope set foot, first of all, they're going to start sacrificing. Then the Pope going to come and say, stop. You got 30 days from when he says stop to flee to the wilderness. And we're gonna talk, we're gonna get into some more details about that. So alright, I gotta make a disclaimer and just reread Daniel's 12 and 11 to make something like much clearer. So Daniel's 12 and 11. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that make it desolate set up, there should be 1,290 days. So you gotta understand when you read Matthew's the 24th chapter, I believe, Christ says that when you shall see the abomination of desolation stand in the holy place, then know that there should be great tribulations as was never seen before on the earth. So that's the abomination of desolation, one individual man. So we read in here that at the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, he's one man. He's not going to take the daily sacrifice away. The 10 horns, the beast that you read about, the EU army, they will take the daily sacrifice away. And they will set up the abomination that make it desolate. So that's the 30-day window right there. They're going to take it away. Boom, 30 days. He's sitting down in the temple, claiming to be God in the temple of God. We in Revelations 12, so I guess we got to go back. This is what this whole video is for. So, Revelations 12, where did I leave off? I believe it was verse 6. I'm going to read verse 6 again. And the woman fled into the wilderness where she had a place prepared for God. I'm sorry, Revelation chapter 12, verse 6. And the woman fled into the wilderness where she had a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. So, 1,260 days for the time period. So we're gonna be in the wilderness for this time right here. Now we read over and over again that that's gonna be the same exact time frame that the beast of the earth who's speaking blasphemy will have his reign and be able to do whatever into the saints. But this is also the time frame that we will be in the wilderness. You hear me? While he out doing his destruction, the ones who have the knowledge and understanding to put that blood on their door, that leap of faith, and to drop everything they doing, like Christ said in the 24th chapter, and run towards Jerusalem, wherever you at in the world. Run towards Jerusalem. Stop anything you doing. You can be at work, just on the computer or on the line. You hear on the radio, the Pope just set foot in Israel and stopped the sack. You run towards Jerusalem. That is what you do to get to the wilderness, because not all of us is gonna make it to the wilderness. I pray every time I get a chance to pray. I pray I make it to the wilderness, because you think you big and bad now. You get caught up in a great tribulation, your faith will be tested, and I don't want to even have to take that test. You hear me? Revelation chapter 12, verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. Now, what is this talking about here? It's literally talking about what it just said. Because Michael, Christ's right-hand man, the chief angel, fought against Satan, the devil, and kicked his ass out of heaven, along with his wicked angels that follow Satan. Let's read it one more time. And there was war in heaven. Literally war. But, Satan stood no chance. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. And he was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Now, what did that sound like? Michael, the chief angel, kicked Satan out along with the wicked angels. What did that sound like? Sound like a verse we read earlier in Isaiah 14. It also sounds like in Revelations 12, verse 4. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. So this is Satan with his mouth talking to the angels saying, follow me. That tail is saying, hey, it's used to persuade the angels, which are the stars, which was cast out along with him, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered. Now he can stand before the woman. How? Because he's on the earth. He's been on the earth since Adam and Eve, when he deceived them in the garden. So he's been on this earth for a while now. Verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto death. Meaning, like, they had so much zeal for Christ that they was willing to die for the word. Even if this devil is right in front of your face, you tell him right to his face, you spit in his face, As long as you got that blood of the Lamb on you, you good. You might have to go through some hard times within them times and dividing the times, but like, we will overcome, Verse 12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Woe, rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. He's pissed off because he got such little time. Him and his disciples. I'm going to read verse 4 again. I'm going to relate it to that again. And his tail drew the third part of heaven. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. Now, cast them to the earth. with something similar that we just read in verse 12. The devil has come down to you, having great wrath. Or woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. These are all physical terms here. So like we all got to be on the same page when we read in this chapter, because it could be so confusing if you don't really just open your mind and think of the possibilities of what it really is talking about and what it could be. So he's mad because he got such a little time, and he's on the earth now, and he's going to do the worst that he can do. Verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. Back when they used to do the inquisitions, and they just used to kill people for the fun of it, just to say, oh, you know what, God said we can do it. So that's what I'm trying to tell you, is that, let's read verse 6. And the woman fled into the wilderness. So the nation of Israel fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of God. So she's in the wilderness safe right now. But 13 says, and when the dragon saw that he was cast out, and when the dragon saw that he was cast out into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the child. So the dragon, we reading that the woman is in the wilderness, but the dragon is persecuting the woman. So what I'm saying is that the Israelites that do not make it to the wilderness, he's coming for you, all right? He's coming for you. Because at that time, you know what I'm saying, the people are still going to be preaching the word. And when he got his supreme rulership over the world, he can't be having pockets of people around the earth blotting out the truth. Because he's a blasphemer, he's a liar, he speaks deceit. So he can't have people out here telling the truth. So he's coming for the people. He's coming for the saints. That's who he's coming for. Verse 14, Revelations 12 and 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, and to her place where she is nourished for a times, and half a time from the face of the serpent. So we already got established that this is going to be his time, that he's going to have complete rulership. But the woman will be able to go into the wilderness, but not all of the women, because he's coming for the ones that was left behind. Alright? Verse 15. You know what? Wait. So when I say to you, reciting Christ's words, that when an abomination of desolation stand in the holy place, you need to drop what you're doing and flee towards the wilderness, which is in the Middle East. You know, that's exactly what we got to do, so we won't get caught up in this 3.5 years and these times and half of times. You know, so you might say, all right, drop everything we're doing, but how is we gonna get, you know, from Cleveland, where I'm at, to the Middle East, where the wilderness will be at, or any places, you know? You just gotta have faith. Just like the Israelites put that blood on their door so them plagues will go over them. You just gotta have faith. And, but it's definitely gonna be a transportation method, so don't worry about that one. But the Lord said he's gonna deliver us on eagle's wings, you know? You tell me what that means. But let's read about these eagle wings in the book of Isaiah, the 40th chapter. And Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. It says, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with eagles. They shall mount up with wings as an eagle. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." So, if we wait on the Lord patiently with faith, He's going to deliver us with wings as an eagle. So you just got to have your faith, and you got to do what He says. Once you see that abomination over there, you got to run. You got to run. Next thing you know, you're going to have some eagle wings just flying like, whoa, Like, imagine that one. Alright, with all that we just read, I just got to keep bringing it back to Revelations 12 and 6, because that 6 verses, something else. So let's read it again. Revelations 12 and 6. "And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days," which is going to be the complete rulership of this abomination of desolation. We read that over and over again. Some going to be in the wilderness, some not. Alright, so this wilderness is prepared for us. It's not ready yet, because the land over there is barren, it's desert land, no trees, but God is going to prepare this land up for us. And I don't know about you, but I want to read about this wilderness. I want to be there. I want to see my family there, because it's going to be beautiful from what I hear, Let's read about it. Psalms 91. Psalms 91, verse 1. "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadows of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snares of the fowler, and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers." Eagle's wings. Verse 4. "He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust." So we got to trust. His trust shall be thy shield and buckler. So like a seatbelt, a buckler. So we got to trust in His eagle's wings. Because we got 2 feet and 2 hands, If the Most High said He had a place prepared for us and one destination, we got to trust in His eagle wings that's how He's going to get us there. So verse 5. "Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day." Because we're going to be in the wilderness, and the whole reason we there is because these arrows are flying by day and night in these other parts of the world. So we're not going to be afraid of these things, because we're in a secret place of the Most High. Don't nobody know where we at. "Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday." That wasteth at noonday. Let me read that one again. "Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday." So, at any given time, it could be a lot of groups of people that's just going to be wasted. And, we in a secret place, so we're not going to worry about those things. Even though our friends and loved ones, some of them might not be there. But at that time, we got to understand that's a blessing to be there, Verse 7. "1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thy eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord, which is in my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. The wilderness is going to be so sweet, we're not even going to hit our foot against a stone. Like, the Most High is going to put his angels over us to make sure we will be nourished for these 3.5 years. And verse 13, thou shalt tread under the lion and otter, the young lion and the dragon shall thou trample under feet, because he has set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. Because we listen to him and we hearken unto his voice, and we actually do know his name, he's going to reward us. He's going to reward us, y'all. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. That's what it's all about, people. That's what it's all about. Salvation. Revelations 12 and 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. That's nothing but the beast, the 10 horns, and the EU army is the flood coming after the woman. It's all the same. Or 16, and the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. So keep in mind, this is talking about end time prophecies here. So whatever they might do in the future to try to get us, the earth is going to help us, meaning the Most High. He's going to send some type of way to fight off this dragon. Verse 17. So before we even go on, keep in mind that the earth opened up her mouth to save us. And what is that? What does that mean? You know, what does it mean? It means that we are no longer in the dragon's presence. We are now in the wilderness. Okay? So keep that in mind. Verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. Verse 17, and the dragon was wroth with the woman. The word wroth means angry. And the dragon was angry with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. With the remnant, why is it the remnant? Big word, remnant. Because the verse above it says that the earth helped the woman and swallowed up the flood. Therefore, some of the woman is not there anymore. They are in the wilderness. Revelations, the 12th chapter. The wilderness, the time period of destruction and abomination and desolation. Verse 17, and the dragon was angry, was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and the testimony of Jesus Christ. Now, why is he coming after the remnant? Because they're the ones who left over, who didn't make it to the wilderness. Plain and simple, people. Plain and simple. He's going after them because they're going to be on this earth preaching the correct word. They might not have the knowledge to get to the wilderness, or maybe the Most High didn't allow them to get to the wilderness. I don't know, you know. But all I can say is that, from my understanding, the Spirit's revealed to me the time to leave, where to leave, who to look out for, all of these things. So, if you get caught in this tribulation and you preaching the word of God, He's coming for you, because it's going to be His kingdom for them 3.5 years, and He can't have nobody just going against what He's saying, which is going to be the saints and the people of Israel. So You know what? We ended the chapter, but I'm not going to feel right until I read at least some of Matthew's 24. Just to say, you know what? I read it, I did it. Let's start Matthew's 24 and Matthew's 24 verse 3. And he sat upon the Mount of Olives. The disciples came unto him privately, saying, So check this out. The disciples took him aside because they didn't want the multitude to understand this. They're like, you know what? We want to know this. Tell us. You don't tell everybody in the world. At least tell us. Saying, tell us when shall these things be, and what shall be thy sign of thy coming and the end of the world. So when you going to come back, and when will the end of the world be? So everything you read past this, guess what? It's signs of the end times and the end of the world. Not no 70 AD fall of Jerusalem. We're talking about worldwide end of the world. Alright, and alright, we're gonna skip to 15. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on a housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. Verse 20. But pray that your flight, verse 20, but pray that your flight, eagle's wings. You hear me? And some of you know what eagle's wings might be talking about, Yeah. But if it's some physical eagle's wings, it wouldn't matter to me. Just get me up out of here, So, but pray that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. Now, why would he be telling us, Christ that is, pray that your flight is not in the winter? If we was in the land of Israel, for the most part, we don't got to worry about no winters. We talking about when we scatter on these four corners of the earth, where it's cold, where we at. So pray that your flight don't be in the Sabbath nor the winter, because like I said, it's 30 days from the time he set foot up until that destruction begins. We got 30 days to get to that wilderness. 30 days, people. Verse 21. Then shall be great tribulation. Verse 21. Verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation. I know y'all know what that word is. Christians love to throw it up. The great tribulation, aka Jacob's trouble. That is the lesson, the breakdown of Revelations chapter 12. To the best of my abilities and what the Spirit's revealed to me, I'm giving it to the people. We went over the time period of the beast and the end of days, which is the same exact time period that we will be in the wilderness. And I hope y'all got some understanding. Till next time, peace and blessings. Shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Peace. The great tribulation, aka Jacob's trouble. That is the lesson, the breakdown of Revelations chapter 12. To the best of my abilities and what the Spirit's revealed to me, I'm giving it to the people. We went over the time period of the beast and the end of days, which is the same exact time period that we will be in the wilderness. And I hope y'all got some understanding. Till next time, peace and blessings. Salam.